So, if you remember last time, the last time we saw Danny, he had been talking with Amber outside the bathroom. And then he goes on to pick up Jade, and they have dinner at Danny's house. A momentous occasion, a big deal, because she has never met them before, and he may not have met her family either. And then, of course, as you know, after dinner with Danny, Jade goes and talks to her best friend. So in our class, you guys spoke together about this, and I'm just going to go over the answers, okay? So, dinner at Danny's. Let's go for it. Well, the question is, why was Jade nervous? Why was Jade nervous? Remember, we can see that she was nervous because she touched the string of pearls around her neck. Can you see her? She's touching the string of pearls. She's so nervous. What else did she do? Oopsie, you guys can't see that, can you? She checked her watch and bit her lip. We know she's very nervous. What else did she do? She folded and unfolded and folded and unfolded her arms. It shows she's nervous. She crossed her arms over her chest and then uncrossed them. Crossed and uncrossed. Can you cross and uncross your arms? And of course, she checked her watch again. Jade is super nervous. She sat down and stood up, and sat down and stood up again. We can see that Jade was nervous. How did Danny's siblings greet Jade? Can you say siblings? Siblings are brothers and sisters. And how about his parents? Did they greet Jade in the same way, in the same manner, or different? I would say that Danny's siblings were very friendly. We can see two young people tumbled out to greet them. Tumbling means to sort of go top over tea kettle, we say. So they're maybe they're very active, right? So they tumble out to greet them. Johnny is Danny's brother. He smiled and kissed her hand. His sister said, "I'm going to sit by you." So you can see his siblings were super friendly to her. But his parents were not. His mother nodded. Let's see you nod. Smiled politely. But that was all. So she did not really respond to Jade in a very friendly manner. His father shook her hand, but he did not smile. Jade seemed worried by several things that happened at the Soto's home. I think you probably got a few more. There were a lot of things that happened that made her nervous. But here's some of the things that I found. His mom didn't start a conversation with her. They were in the kitchen together and they didn't start a conversation. Mr. Soto said, "We are all citizens here. We have kept our customs from Mexico. We are Catholic." So maybe the message to Jade is, we are citizens, you are not. We have customs from Mexico. You do not have the same customs. And we are Catholic. Catholic. You are not. So maybe he was not very friendly. And those are some of the things that worried her. And, of course, his siblings looked upset because they were friendly. They liked Jade. And we can see that the tension in the air was very heavy for the rest of the meal. The tension, if there is tension, it means it's tense, uncomfortable. It is not relaxed. continuing on, we can review some vocabulary. Danny's parents are Catholic. Do you know anybody who's Catholic? I know tons of people. When I was growing up, lots of people in my neighborhood were Catholic. And he said Danny's parents are citizens. Citizens. You can practice that vocabulary. So, of course, after the dinner did not go very well, Jade called her best friend. I mean, wouldn't you do that after a bad dinner with your boyfriend's parents? Why is Jade upset? I think you know the reason. She says, they didn't like me. They didn't like me at all. Let's hear you say that. They didn't like me at all. Not in the least. His father made it clear that they are from Mexico and I am not. And he told me that he was a citizen. That's what Jade said to Crystal. Does he think I'm an illegal alien and want to marry Danny for a green card? Hey, what's that word? Alien. Ooh, everybody, alien has two meanings. An alien can be like a little green Martian, or an illegal alien is a person who enters the country without papers. So unfortunately, this young woman is being detained at immigration because she is an undocumented immigrant, or an illegal alien, they call them sometimes. And so Crystal and Jade are talking, and they talk about Danny's parents' expectations of their son's girlfriend. And of course, your expectations are what you think somebody should do. So Danny's parents expect their son's girlfriend to do certain things, and they listed them. Crystal says they want their kids to marry people just like them. So Danny's parents want him to marry somebody who is Mexican like them. And the Soto family would prefer that Danny's girlfriend speaks some Spanish. Maybe Jade doesn't speak Spanish. That she know how to cook tamales, and that she have long black hair. And Crystal says, which you have, unless you twist it all out of your head the way you're doing right now. Right? So maybe Jade doesn't speak Spanish. She doesn't cook tamales, but she does have black hair. The only problem is she's so nervous she's pulling it out of her head. Oh, everybody, tamales. Can you say tamales? They are a delicious Mexican and Central American food. Oh, look, this young woman is twisting. Do you know twist? It's a dance. It's something you can do with your hair. You can twist your rings to move things around. She's twisting her hair out of her head. Okay. How about Jade's mom? Does she accept Jade's boyfriend? Does she accept Danny? Jade says, of course. I understand this, meaning I understand how Danny's parents are because my mother is acting the same way. In fact, I couldn't even tell her about Danny for the first 6 months that we were dating. I was afraid of what she would say. So Jade's mom is the same way. She is not excited for Jade to have a boyfriend from another culture, or maybe even a boyfriend altogether. Did Crystal have a similar experience with Jade's? What happened in Crystal's case? We can see that Crystal says, I was crazy about this guy. She loved him. He worked at the modeling agency. Remember how Crystal used to be a model? He worked at the modeling agency, a cameraman. We dated for several months before I had the courage to tell my mother. Tell her mother what? Tell her mother that she had a boyfriend at work. I invited him home, and my mother yelled at me for a week. Yell means to shout in an angry manner. She kept asking me if I knew what I was getting mixed up with, dating a white guy. So remember, Crystal is African American, and the cameraman is a white guy, right? So they have an interracial marriage, and the mother, Crystal's mother, is not happy. She said, I was just asking for trouble. And Tony, the guy couldn't take it. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't deal with the difficulty. He broke it off. They broke up. I was devastated. Devastated means super sad. So I think the answer to this question is yes. Crystal had an experience similar to Jade's, and she was really sad. They did not stay together. Let's keep going here. Crystal and Jade. Crystal asked Jade to do her a favor. What was it? Remember, when you say, do me a favor, that means help me with something, okay? Crystal says, hey, girl, I have a favor to ask you. Could you trade with me tomorrow night? I'm on the schedule to direct traffic and patrol the football game, but I have a date. If you could do this for me, I'll take your traffic duty any morning next week, your choice, right? So Crystal says, Jade, if you work for me at the game, I'll switch and work for you in the morning next week, okay? Ooh, what's she doing? She's directing traffic. Everybody, let's hear you say directing traffic. Right? Oopsie. I just went too fast. Hang on. So Crystal asked Jade to work for her, and she's going to have to direct traffic and patrol. Patrol means you stay out and watch and keep watch and make sure that something is safe. And so, question, do you think Crystal and Jade have a close relationship? Give a reason for your answer. And the last few questions is to get somebody in a knot, right? Crystal says, what's got you in a knot, right? You can see here these cords are in a knot, right? All tangled up. So if you are in a knot, you feel worried about something, okay? And to have something to do with, to be related to something. She's like, does this have something to do with Danny? Are you upset because of Danny? And Crystal says, I'm an ace interrogator. That's a person, like in this picture. Maybe this is the ace interrogator, the guy who's standing up here. An ace interrogator, a person, usually a police officer, who's good at asking questions and getting information, okay? To bring something up, that means to start talking about a topic. And to be ahead of somebody else means to be more advanced. To soften up means to become more flexible, reasonable. If you saw, right, Crystal says, hey, they'll soften up. Maybe they'll become more reasonable about your boyfriend, okay? So at this time, I'm going to close and we'll move into our reading for today book.